what if the moon just disappeared? If the moon could disappear, it would do so in either two ways. The first is turn into a black hole. Now, the black hole that would be left would obviously have different physical characteristics, but its effect on Earth would remain somewhat constant, including the tides and any gravitational effects it has on the planet. So how big would this black hole be? The radius would be significantly smaller than you'd expect. The Schwarzschild radius is the radius of the resultant sphere if all of the mass of an object were to be compressed to the point the escape velocity from the surface of the sphere is equal or greater than the speed of light. In other words, light can't escape, it is now a black hole. For the Earth, this radius would be about 8.7 millimeters, but for the Moon, the radius would be only about 0.11 millimeters. Luckily, the Moon could never actually turn into a black hole. We just don't think that it could happen. That's just not how it works. But what if the Moon just vanished? The tidal bulge is a big rubber band of water around the Earth being pulled by both the Moon and the Sun. When let go, it would ripple back and forth around the globe, flooding coastal regions, but ultimately balancing out the remaining coastline to a somewhat normal level. Plus, the Sun is responsible for about 30% of the tides anyway, so at least the surfers would probably still be happy. Some nocturnal animals would have trouble though. Although the Moon only reflects about 12% of the sunlight that hits it, without the Moon, the next brightest object in the sky would actually be Venus. But if you ask the Sun or any other planet, they would probably not notice any change, and after a few thousand years, life on Earth wouldn't either. The interesting part about the Moon disappearing, in contrast with the Sun disappearing, is that life would continue. If the Sun disappeared, the Earth would be launched into darkness, that is space, and we'd freeze to death within days. But if the Moon disappeared, scientists would have a pretty big question on their hands. If the Moon vanished, it could possibly provide clues to bridge the gap between the world of the tiny and the world of the large. Anyways guys, that's just kind of taking a look at what would happen briefly, what if the Moon